The male soldiers at Fort Bragg used to make fun of Maria's pink nail polish. Until a Green Beret commander saw her and explained why every Special Forces operator carries that same color. This story begins at Fort Bragg, North Carolina. The world's largest military installation and home base for Special Operations Forces. This is where Green Berets, Delta Force, and other elite units receive their training. Sergeant Maria Santos, 27, worked as a mechanic in the motor pool. Medium height, dark hair, with strong hands usually covered in motor oil. But there was one detail about Maria that stood out, her perfectly manicured bright pink nail polish. This pink polish seemed pretty strange on a military base. Male soldiers would always make the same comments when they saw Maria, "Look at that, like she's going to a beauty salon. This is a battlefield, not a nail salon. How's she gonna hold a weapon with those nails?" Maria would hear these comments but never respond. She'd just smile and continue her work. No matter how strong and skilled her hands were at fixing engines, that pink polish was always there. She'd been working at Fort Bragg for 3 years. Everyone knew she was an excellent mechanic. She could solve the most complex engine problems in minutes. But soldiers always knew her as the pink-nailed mechanic girl. Until that Tuesday morning. Maria was doing what she always did. Fixing a Humvee engine in the motor pool. Her hands were covered in oil, but her nails were still that bright pink color. At that moment, a group of soldiers she didn't recognize entered the motor pool. These weren't ordinary soldiers. Green Berets, black uniforms, silent steps. Green Beret Special Forces teams. The most elite soldiers. Maria noticed them but continued her work. Until the group's commander saw her. Colonel James Reaper Morrison, 45, a 20-year Green Beret veteran. Battle scars on his face, cold determination in his eyes. He froze the moment he saw Maria. More precisely, the moment he saw Maria's nails. That bright pink color. Colonel Morrison had seen this color before. In a very special, very secret place. If you love military mysteries and unexpected identity stories, make sure to hit that subscribe button. What does Maria's pink polish really mean? How could this color be connected to Special Forces? Share your theories in the comments below and don't forget to like this video, it helps us bring you more surprise-filled stories like this. Colonel Morrison just stood there in the middle of the motor pool. His men looked at him strangely. "Sir, is there a problem?" asked Sergeant Williams. Morrison didn't answer. His eyes were fixed on Maria's hands. That pink polish. This was impossible. Maria noticed the commander staring at her. She wiped her hands with motor oil and stood up. "Can I help you, sir?" Morrison approached. "That polish. Where did you get it?" "Sir." Maria was confused. "That pink color. It's a very specific shade. Where did you buy it?" The other soldiers in the motor pool started laughing when they heard this conversation. "Sir, are you asking for cosmetic recommendations?" Corporal Jenkins mocked. But Morrison wasn't laughing. In fact, his face had become even more serious. "Ms. Santos, do you know the name of that color?" Maria hesitated. "Pink. Just pink." "No. That color has a special name. Magenta, 7. And only very special people know that code." The laughter in the motor pool stopped. Everyone went silent. Maria's expression changed. She no longer had the innocent look of a mechanic girl. A cold gleam appeared in her eyes. "Sir, maybe we should talk privately." Colonel Morrison told his men to leave the motor pool. Only he and Maria remained. "I know who you are," Morrison said quietly. "Who am I, sir?" "Agent Scarlett. CIA Tactical Operations. Last seen in Afghanistan, 2019. Missing in action since then. Maria's mask dropped. Her posture changed, her tone changed, her entire being changed. That identity is dead, she said in a cold voice. But the Magenta 7 code is still active. Why? Maria took a deep breath. Because the operation is still ongoing. Morrison was shocked. Impossible. Ghost Protocol was terminated in 2019. No, sir. Ghost Protocol was never terminated. It just went deeper underground. What do you mean? Maria looked around, making sure no one was listening. When I got out of Afghanistan, I didn't come out alone. I brought something very important with me. Crucial intelligence. What intelligence? There's a double agent at Fort Bragg. Someone leaking information to the enemy. And I'm here to find them. Colonel Morrison was shocked. Double agent? Here. Impossible. Very possible, sir. And that double agent is very high-ranking. Do you have proof? Maria pulled a small USB from her pocket. Encrypted files I recovered in Afghanistan in 2019. The Taliban had detailed information about Fort Bragg. The kind that could only come from someone inside. Morrison took the USB. Why didn't you report this until now? Because until I definitively identify the double agent, there's a security risk. That person is very high up. They could silence me. So what does the pink polish do? Maria smiled. Magenta 7 isn't just a color code. It's also a chemical formula. This polish shows a special pattern under infrared light. It's a covert signaling system. What signal? I'm active and operational. If other CIA agents see an operator with this polish, they know they should assist them. Morrison was beginning to understand. So you've been on covert assignment here for 3 years? Yes. And now I've found the double agent. Who? Morrison asked immediately. I can't give names yet. But I'll be making my move very soon. That's why nobody could know my real identity. But I know. Maria looked at him. Are you trustworthy, sir? Morrison was offended by this question. I've been serving this country for 20 years. This double agent has been serving for 15 years too. And they seem very trustworthy. Morrison understood. Nobody could be trusted anymore. What are you going to do? Soon the double agent will make their final move. They're preparing to leak information about a very big operation. I'm going to catch them red-handed. What operation? Maria hesitated. Operation Dark Storm. Starting next week in Syria. If information leaks, 30 American soldiers will die. Morrison's face went white. I'm planning that operation. I know. And so does the double agent. That evening, Maria made a secret plan with Colonel Morrison. We'll feed false information, Morrison said. I'll give different details to different people. Whichever one leaks out, that person is the double agent. Smart. But we need to be careful. That person is very clever. Morrison gave 3 different officers 3 different pieces of false information. Major Thompson, operation delayed 3 days. Colonel Davis, target location changed. General Harrison, team size increased. Now we wait, Maria said. Within 48 hours, whichever information reaches the enemy, we'll have found our double agent. But while waiting, Maria's situation became more difficult. The soldiers in the motor pool were now treating her differently. They'd become curious after Colonel Morrison's visit. Why did that commander want to talk to you privately? Corporal Jenkins asked. Just about engine repair, Maria said. Was he interested in your pink polish? Maria smiled. Maybe he wanted color recommendations for his daughter. But Jenkins wasn't convinced. 24 hours later, Maria's encrypted communication device rang. A message was coming from CIA headquarters. Intercepted comm, Operation Dark Storm 3 days delayed. Source unknown. Confirm status. Maria called Morrison. The information you gave Major Thompson leaked. Thompson. Impossible. I've known him for 10 years. Covert agents are always your close friends, sir. Because you trust them. Morrison was shaken. What are we going to do? Now it's time to find definitive proof. We need to catch Thompson red-handed. The next day, Maria prepared a special plan. She secretly entered Thompson's office and placed a micro-tracker on his computer. That night, Thompson was indeed sending encrypted messages. Maria monitored all his communications. Bingo, she said to herself. Thompson is communicating directly with enemy contacts. But the most shocking part was the amount of money Thompson was receiving. He had $2 million in an offshore account. Maria called Morrison. I've gathered the evidence. We need to arrest Thompson. How? Tomorrow give him false but very important operation information. When he tries to leak that information, we'll catch him in the act. The next morning, Morrison gave Thompson an ultra-secret briefing. Thompson, we have a very classified situation. Tomorrow night a high-value terrorist will be transferred to Fort Bragg. Abu Mansur al-Iraqi. Security will be at maximum level. Thompson's eyes lit up. Sir, what will the security protocol be for this? Only you and I know. Don't tell anyone else. Thompson indicated he understood. That night, Maria secretly monitored Thompson's office. At 11 p.m., Thompson opened his computer and began sending an encrypted message. Maria immediately took action. She burst into the office before Thompson could send the message. Hands up, Major Thompson. Thompson was surprised. Santos? What are you doing here? Arresting you. CIA Special Agent Maria Santos. I've been watching you for 2 years. Thompson tried to reach for his weapon, but Maria was faster. She took him down and handcuffed him. You're a CIA agent? Yes. And you're a traitorous double agent. Colonel Morrison and MPs came to the office. Thompson was on the floor in handcuffs. What does this mean? Thompson asked. Morrison opened the file. Major Thompson, I'm charging you with treason, selling military secrets to the enemy, and cooperating with terrorists. This is ridiculous. Maria showed the laptop. The evidence of your encrypted messages, offshore accounts, and enemy contacts is right here. Thompson's face went ashen. Also, Maria continued, the blood of 12 American soldiers killed in Afghanistan is on your hands. You gave their locations to the enemy. Thompson collapsed. How did you find out? Because I was in those operations. I'm one of the survivors. And I've been planning revenge for 3 years. After Thompson was arrested, the base personnel learned the truth. Colonel Morrison gave an explanation to the entire unit. Sergeant Maria Santos is actually a CIA special agent. She's been on covert assignment among us for 3 years. The soldiers in the motor pool were shocked. So what did the pink polish mean? Corporal Jenkins asked. Maria smiled. Magenta 7 code. CIA's tactical identification system. This polish shows a special pattern under infrared light. So we've been making fun of a CIA agent for 3 years? Yes. And I wanted that. Because nobody suspected. Colonel Morrison added, thanks to this operation, we cleaned up an important part of the enemy network. Thompson wasn't just the double agent here. He was part of a larger network. After Maria's real identity was revealed, the CIA assigned her to a new mission. Agent Santos, said CIA Director Sarah Chen on a video call. Excellent work. With the information Thompson provided, we caught 15 enemy agents. Thank you, ma'am. But your work isn't finished. We'll follow Thompson's connections. You'll maintain your cover identity. So I'll remain as Maria Santos? Yes. But now as a special liaison officer at Fort Bragg. Colonel Morrison intervened. Agent Santos, would you like to continue working with me? Maria thought. She'd lived here for 3 years. She'd gotten to know people. It had become her home in a way. Yes, sir. But I have one condition. What is it? Can I keep wearing pink polish? Morrison laughed. Of course. Now that polish is your trademark. Now that everyone knew Maria's real identity, their attitudes toward her completely changed. When she went to the motor pool, soldiers began greeting her. Good morning, Agent Santos. Good morning, boys. I'm still Maria. But Corporal Jenkins asked curiously, Agent Santos, what other secret talents do you have? Maria smiled. I'm very good at fixing engines. Isn't that enough? No. What did you do when you were at the CIA? Classified, Jenkins. But I can tell you this, that pink polish isn't just for identification. It's also a weapon. How is it a weapon? Maria lightly scratched with her fingernail. Special chemical formula. Small dose paralyzes, large dose kills. Jenkins backed away. Wow. I'm never making fun of you again. Not too late, Maria said, laughing. 2 months later, Maria was invited to a new mission. Agent Santos, said Colonel Morrison. We got a special request from the Pentagon. They're looking for volunteers for an overseas operation. Where to? Syria. We'll investigate ISIS's new network. Very dangerous. Maria thought. Now she had a safe life at Fort Bragg. But duty was calling. I accept. But one condition. Your usual condition, pink polish. Yes. Because now this is my signature. Morrison smiled. Of course. I'll tell the Pentagon that Agent Santos only goes on operations with pink nails. Maria's story became legend at Fort Bragg. New female soldiers looked up to her as an example. They also started wearing pink polish. Why are you wearing pink polish? A male soldier asked a newly arrived female soldier. Because I want to be like Agent Santos. She proved that strong women can be badass with pink nails too. When Maria heard about this situation, she was proud. Now pink polish isn't just mine, she told Morrison. It's become a symbol for all strong women. Right. You started a trend. 6 months later, Maria returned from the Syria operation. It was a successful mission. A welcome back party was held at Fort Bragg. Agent Santos, Morrison said in his speech. You taught us an important lesson. We shouldn't judge people by their appearance. Yes, sir. And a woman wearing pink polish can be the deadliest agent. During the party, a young female soldier approached Maria. Agent Santos, you inspire me. I want to become a CIA agent too. What color polish are you wearing? Maria asked. Blue. Does this have a special meaning too? Maria smiled. It does now. You're going to make it special. 2 years later, Maria became an instructor at the CIA. Thanks to her experience at Fort Bragg, she specialized in undercover operations. Now she was training new agents. Class, she said in her first lesson. Today I'm going to give you the most important lesson. Camouflage isn't just about uniforms. Sometimes the best camouflage is looking exactly like everyone expects you to. She showed her hands. That bright pink polish was still there. This pink polish protected me for 3 years. Because nobody thought a CIA agent would wear pink nails. A student asked, Agent Santos, what other stereotypes have you turned into advantages? Looking weak is the greatest strength. Being a woman isn't weakness, it's the surprise factor. And remember, the deadliest weapon is when the enemy underestimates you. As she finished her lesson that day, Maria looked in the mirror. Her pink-polished nails were still perfect. And now they were a symbol not just for her, but for dozens of strong women. Because Maria Santos had proved that a woman wearing pink polish could save the world too. And that was the most beautiful color code of all. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to hit that like button. If you love strong women stories and military mystery stories, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Tell us in the comments, have you ever experienced turning stereotypes into advantages like Maria? Don't forget to check out our playlist for more strong women stories. In our next video, we'll tell the story of how a fake secretary turned out to be a real FBI agent.